So today I'm talking about a Dodge with the P0456 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Dodge P0456 code? Well, it's an Evaporative Emissions System, small leak detected. And what does this mean? Well, modern cars have an evap system that takes all the gas vapors and sends them back into the engine to get burnt off so they don't leak into the atmosphere. And the onboard computer is seeing a leak inside of this, so I have to be troubleshooting know why. And some of the possible causes is it could be a bad gas cap, could be a purge valve, there might be a leak somewhere in the system with the leaky hose or something like that. Could be something going on with the charcoal canister. And many Dodges have this vapor canister leak detector, and that's a common problem on some Dodges. And so the first thing to check when you get this code is go check the gas cap, because it is a part of the evap system and it needs a seal. And so the gas cap might be good, but go and check it. Be sure that inner seal looks good. Be sure it's not cracked or anything like this or has any damage, because if it's not sealing good, then it's going to cause a problem. And if it does look bad, then I would go ahead and replace it. One thing to mention is that when you do replace these, be sure to get an OEM original one, because third-party aftermarket gas caps can cause problems. They don't seal correctly. So if you do replace the gas cap, be sure to get an OEM original one for your particular Dodge. And so if the gas cap looks good, the next thing you can check is the purge valve. And the purge valve is located up inside the engine compartment. It'll just be a small little solenoid. It'll have like two hoses going to it and a wiring harness. And one thing you can check, you could just check and see if there's any leaks going to it, that these hoses are all connected good and not leaking or anything like that, that this wiring harness is connected good. And that's something to keep in mind, is that any bad wiring going to this can also cause problems. But mainly check to see is that these hoses are all connected good and there's no leaks going on with it. You can also test it to see if it's any good or replace it. Many people would just go ahead and replace the purge valve since it's a low-cost part, but that would be the next thing to go and look at, would be this purge valve. And so if the purge valve all looks good, the next thing you can go and check is the charcoal canister. This would be located up and underneath the vehicle by the gas tank somewhere. And mainly when you go and look at it, again, the next thing to go and check is to be sure that all these hoses that are connected to it have no leak, because these hoses are going around from the gas tank to the charcoal canister up to the purge valve and into the engine. And so you want to spot if there's any leaks, like there's any cracks in the hoses or anything like this, because if there is any leaks, then it'll need to be fixed. And one thing to mention is that many Dodges, such as this is a 2011 Dodge 1500 Ram, and this component right here is a common failure point on many of these. They're pretty simple to replace. You just pop this hose off and they twist out. They got a little clip down here on the bottom. And not all Dodges have them, but many do. And this is a very notorious common problem, is that this leak detector goes bad. I'll jump over on Amazon and show you what it is. It's just a small little component that detects leaks inside the system, and if it goes bad, then there might not be no leak and the onboard computer just thinks there is because this has failed. I'll put links down below for everything I'm looking at. But if your Dodge does have this on the evap canister and you can't find any leaks anywhere on the hoses or anything like that, this is a common fix for many Dodges. And the whole charcoal canister can also be replaced. Sometimes they leak, and so that's something else to keep in mind, is that the charcoal canister itself, the whole canister might have gone bad. And so if you've gone through and you looked at all that and none of that seems to solve the problem, you tested all those components and they all look good and there's no issues there, then you very likely have a leak somewhere inside of these hoses going around to the gas tank and everything. And so it'll need to be found. And this can sometimes be easy, and then sometimes it can be hard trying to find where the leak's at. If you took it to a mechanic, what they do is they'd feed smoke into the evap system, and wherever it came out, they would know that there's a leak, and then they'd be able to go and fix it. Now, you're likely not going to have a smoke machine, but what you can do is just really closely go back around to all those hoses and look at them really closely again. Go from the purge valve solenoid up in the engine compartment all the way down to the charcoal canister, and check that hose going back around to the gas tank, and just be sure that there's no leaks, because very likely at this point there's a leak somewhere. And so that's basically it. I just want to give a real quick brief overview of how you go about fixing a Dodge with the P0456 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.